Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's live. I'm so excited that you all are here, and I'm so excited to get to hang out with my friend Kelli. Hey Kelli, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. So we really appreciate your time. We want to go ahead and let everybody know that we are doing a giveaway tonight, so you can win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. All you have to do to enter is get in the comments, tell us where you're from, what questions do you have for Kelli about coding in the classroom, and hit the share button. So the more you hit the share button and the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. And by the way, if you haven't registered for Elevate Virtual, do it now. The links to register are in the comments and in the description. You do not want to miss the premier virtual professional development event of the summer. 30 sessions, 4 keynotes, 90 days on demand, virtual unlimited access, $500 in free downloads for your classroom, $10,000 in giveaways. It's going to be incredible. We have some awesome keynotes, Gary Brooks, Barry White, Katie Garner, myself. We have 30 sessions, including Kelli's session on coding. So you do not want to miss out. Click the links, get registered, and be a part of Elevate Virtual. So again, if you want to enter tonight's giveaway, get in the comments. What questions do you have? Where are you from? And hit that share button and invite your friends to join us tonight. So I'm excited to get to talk to Kelli. So Kelli, take a couple of minutes and introduce yourselves to everyone.
Great. Hey, everybody. My name is Kelli Coons, and I work in technology, also work as a classroom teacher. I'm super excited and really passionate about working in a STEAM role with students and incorporating a lot of different curricular areas all in one. But I work in South Carolina, and I'm originally from Michigan, which is why I don't have the typical South Carolina accent. But I've lived here since 2006. I'm enjoying the weather, especially when it's warmer, not so much this last week. But I just love that with the coding, that we can take something that sounds so difficult and so advanced and really break it down at the very basic level and make students feel like they're doing big people work. And plugged in, unplugged, with paper, with pencils, with crayons, with Play-Doh, whatever it is, we can use those tools to make the earliest of learners, feel like they are taking those beginning steps in coding and technology.
I love it. So before we get into all of it, lots of people are excited. I see a lot of people talking about coding.
Awesome.
Again, into the giveaway. I'm excited to talk to Kelli. She did a similar session last year. This is going to be a very different session, but I'm really excited to get into it. But I do want to go ahead and give everybody a little bit of a warning. We're going to keep the trend going here during our Facebook Lives because, last week I had to do the Facebook Lives with the flu. So I powered through last week. So today I thought, hey, why not? Let's go to the dentist. So I had dental work done today. So my face is numb. So if you notice my smile is off or like I drool on myself, I'm totally fine. I promise. Nothing to worry about. It's just I'm numb. So just ignore that. I've never done coding in my classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of comments saying kind of the same thing. So give us and people are saying they've always wanted to do it. So give us some of the benefits of coding in the classroom.
Oh gosh. Well, I think about sequencing, for example. And, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end of a story. And even if you're giving simple directions to any task, really, you have a beginning instruction, you have middle, and you have end, just like the story, but in multi-step directions even. And thinking about problem solving in a sequential way. And spatially looking at the layout of a giant grid, like taking a shower curtain and using painter's tape or, any type of tape, a colored tape or any color that's not clear. Okay. That's not going to show up on a clear shower curtain, but creating a giant grid for students to stand within or even using the tiles in your classroom that are already gridded out, I guess. It's not the gritty, okay, but gridded out. And you can use painter's tape to section off these squares, and then the kids become the players of the game, and you begin to code in and give color coded instructions, okay, and really that's all unplugged. There are a lot of technology tools that you can do and you can incorporate, but even working in technology, I'm a big fan of just getting back to basics and taking away any excuses. And I'm not talking about teachers having excuses. I mean, as far as schools saying, well, we can't code because we can't do this with technology. Well, you don't necessarily need the keyboard and the screen and this Chromebook that you have in front of you to do coding. You just need to be able to sequence, communicate clearly. I also love in coding, it kind of teaches that a stamina, and also gets rid of that fear of failure, because then, you're trying and you're retrying and you're trying again. And so I even like to emphasize that when we write, your first draft is never what your final draft looks like. And so just emphasizing the importance of just that tenacity and just continuing to get after something for an end goal. And back to I saw that someone said the shower curtain idea. Back to that idea, I like to lay something out like a shower curtain or like a cheap tablecloth from Dollar General, section it off, grid it off, and then have the students stand on a block to start. And then if you want them to get from point A to point B, wherever you put anything on that grid, you have to give the students step-by-step instructions. What should she do first? Should she turn right? Should she walk forward? Should she go back? Did we go too far? So then you're writing out, and even little kids that aren't really going to be able to just sit and write, they can put up a green Post-it note if they want that person to move forward and lay it down on the table. Then put up a pink one if they want it to go right, peel that off, lay that down on the table. So, I mean, using something as simple as that to give directions, and it's almost like a video game, really, and telling them helping them get a classmate point A to point B is coding. I mean, at its truest basic form. And that's fun. Like, the kids don't even realize, when you trick them into learning, even though they just think that they're just playing a game and having fun, they're really working through that problem solving in their head. So I just love to see those light bulbs go off and see them apply that in other areas in the classroom.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and I love that you're tying it into so many other things too, following directions, right? Like we know how much we work on that with our kids, especially early childhood. Sequencing, you talked about communicating. Those are all things that our kids need to be readers and writers. And so when we're talking about coding, we're not just talking about benefits with technology or whatever, but we're talking about reading and communicating and writing too. I love that it encompasses everything.
And the collaboration piece is huge as well. It's fun to work by yourselves, but one thing after COVID, especially, and going in and working in classrooms, the number one thing that I hear from classroom teachers as I'm working with them is that my kids don't know how to work together, or they're not very good at coming up with, okay, well, we'll do this person's plan this way. And, they're not very good at conceding to another idea in the group as well. And so I like to put them together in groups and give them a task, give them a problem, and they need to seek a solution for it. And they have to work together and collaborate in order to do that, because there are tasks in life that are individual, but life overall, at least in my house, life's a team sport here. So right. It takes all kinds of people to get everybody where they need to go. But I want our students to be comfortable working with other people so that is not an issue throughout the rest of school, college, and in their future places of work, honestly.
Yeah. And I love that, because you're right. Like, kids can't work together. And I think it's gotten worse over the last several years, especially with COVID, because we were all so isolated. And this
Mm-hmm.
is something that I hear teachers talking about across the country and kind of around the world, is how those social skills of being
Mm-hmm.
able to problem solve, working together, being on a team, all of those things aren't there anymore because we have been so isolated. So I love
Right.
that this is an opportunity to build that
Mm-hmm.
in such a fun, engaging way, like you said, like a video game, which the kids are obsessed with. So
Right.
you're engaging them in something that they already love.
Right. Right. For sure. And it can be a different, you can use that shower curtain each day to lay it out as a grid on the floor, but you can give them a different situation. The starting point and the ending point can be different. You can add in a couple stops along the way. It can always change, but yet the thing that remains the same is it's a familiar routine and format. They're just being asked to approach it a little bit differently. And also, I think you can up the rigor in it and say, okay, well, I noticed the last time that you planned out this path for Kelli over there, you did this path. I noticed you used probably 20 different Post-it notes to tell her where to go. Do you think that you could use less and get to the same spot? Like, is there a more efficient way to get there? And so, then you've got them thinking critically about their own previous path and how they can improve. So, we're not critiquing what anybody else is doing. We're just looking at what we've done ourselves and think, okay, well, a month ago, they're young, but as their teacher, a month ago, I noticed this was 20 Post-it notes, and now they've figured out that they can just take a right, and then all of a sudden they're right in front of it and lined up, and three green, and they're there. So I don't know, and I also think there is a reason why I do the green, yellow, and the pink or the reddish, is that kind of going with the stoplight theme, and these are familiar colors that mean stop right there, go, or let's slow down right here, or a purple one, which is use that to turn, whatever it is, but just using colors that are familiar to road signs, to where there is that that familiarity from different signs that they encounter in their regular life. So
I love it. Well, and I wanted people are loving the shower curtain idea.
Oh, good.
I'm loving the shower curtain idea because it's so simple, right? And then the other day when we had Jamie Hubbard on, she talked about a shower curtain idea. So listen, if you're going to attend Elevate Virtual, y'all need to go ahead to the store and stock up on shower curtains, because we're going to show you all the ways this year at Elevate Virtual to use the shower curtains. So go to the store, stock up on your shower curtains, and make sure you register for Elevate Virtual so you get all the ideas for using the shower curtain and so much more. Everyone is loving the ideas tonight. They're loving the conversation. So if you're loving this conversation about coding, imagine what you're going to get out of Kelli's session at Elevate Virtual. So click the links to get registered. The link is in the description and in the comments. Elevate Virtual is $75 through March 31st. That gets you online access for 90 days. That's on-demand, virtual, unlimited access, June 1st to August 31st, 31 sessions. There's 4 keynotes: Gary Brooks, Katie Garner, Barry White, myself. $500 worth of free resources to download. You get a certificate for your contact hours. You have $10,000 in giveaways and freebies and more. Y'all, it is going to be phenomenal. And listen, if you have done Elevate Virtual in the past, this year, as every year, it is all new. All new content, new sessions, new learning, new downloads. So it is all different, and it is different than our in-person conferences. So if you're attending virtual, you still need to come to Nashville, Phoenix, and Dallas in person. And if you're attending in person, you still need to sign up for virtual, because they are all different content. So click the link to get registered. And don't forget, we are giving away a ticket to Elevate Virtual tonight. All you need to do to enter is hit the share button and join us in the comments. So the more you comment and the more you share, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. So somebody asked, and you've already kind of answered it, but I'll throw the question out there and see what you do with it. Somebody else said, what does coding look like in kindergarten? So the shower curtain, I think you've talked about the sequencing, the following directions. Is there another simple idea that you can share with us?
Let's see. Well, I've actually done it with, I mean, and you may not think this is coding, but it definitely is. I take familiar fairy tales or familiar nursery rhyme type stories that the students will be familiar with, like say Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and I will cut out pictures of an event with a character. So, it's Goldilocks, and then it might be a broken chair, and then it might be like cold porridge, or, whatever it is. Stack up those pictures of whatever you've just read. And it's just a basic sequencing activity, but basically then they lay it out and they put it in the order that it goes in. And then they can either use the tiles on the ground or they can use their desk, whatever it is. And they have to, lay it out kind of and move through the story with the characters. But then there's also some cards that will show a setting as well. And so then that's still coding as well, if they can show the sequence in which, we're at, or oh gosh, it was like Three Little Pigs. And so there's definitely a sequence and a repetition to that, but just utilizing familiar stories that like little laminated cards with characters, and then have that as a station as well. And then when you flip the cards over, it creates a puzzle that makes sense on the other side. So it's kind of like a check, but it's not like it's not super obvious when they flip it over. But on the other side of the characters, if you line them up in the way that they are supposed to go, and you were to flip them over, you would see that it was completed on the other side. So if you have a substitute that day and she's doing the centers, she doesn't have to be familiar with the story, even though they are familiar stories. She could check that as well. But yeah, I mean, just with some colored markers, with the with any of those things, color coding anything is coding, by the way, in its very first form. So that would be one of the ideas. So
what I love that you're expanding what people think of coding, because when we hear coding, we immediately think technology, right? Bbots, computers, you got to have technology, you got to have devices. But what you're sharing with us is that it's so much more. Yes, you can do it with technology, but you can also do coding without. And I love that.
Right. And really it's, I don't know. I think a lot of people do coding and they don't even realize it already. But you cannot do the more complex things if you haven't exposed them to a good, healthy amount of just the regular order of things. I mean, I bring it back even to like order of operations in math with the little bit older kids. There's a specific order in which things need to be done in order to get the same outcome, and I also love to celebrate their differences as well, because I will give some of the students the exact same route to map, either with Post-its or on the shower curtain or whatever it is. And I love to leave those out on their desks and then have the kids walk around and compare. And you're going to see about 5 different ways that kids have used to get to the same place. And none of them are wrong. They've taken a little different route, but guess what? If I got in my car right now and went to Myrtle Beach and someone else left right now, they may take a few different roads than I do, but we're going to end up in the same place. So I like that, just to show the many different ways that we can all be right about the same thing. So
I love that. And earlier you were talking, and it got me to thinking, like, by bringing this into the classroom, we're giving our kids another way to show a strength, because maybe they're not great at art, or maybe they're still learning to read, or they're not great in math, but maybe coding is their thing. And so when we bring that into the classroom, we're giving them another way, a different way to show something that they're really good at. And it, it can build their confidence, right? And then that benefits their reading and their writing. So I love that we're giving them just another outlet to show what they can do. And not something that we would have thought about, maybe, right? Like so many people are talking about, oh, well, thank you for kind of showing us what coding is. And so it's not an area that we would think, oh, let's do that in the classroom. So, but now we have yet another way to give our kids that opportunity.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I love it. And, this, excuse me, this is what Elevate is all about, y'all. Listen, last week when Jamie was on, Jamie Hubbard, talking about dramatic play, she rocked our world because she expanded what we thought of as dramatic play. And we were all like in the comments, and even me sitting here, we were like, whoa, like, wait a minute, we're doing dramatic play in the classroom. And you're doing the exact same thing with coding. You're expanding what we think of, right? And you're kind of rocking our worlds, because I came into this live like, okay, coding, we don't have, we don't do that. It's we don't have all that technology. Now I'm like, wait a minute, we can start doing some of this in the classroom. And so that's what Elevate is about. It's about broadening our horizons, giving us this easy to do things in the classroom that anybody can do, right?
Right.
Because there are probably people watching who thought, oh, coding, well, we don't have that stuff. So whatever, coding. But now they're like, ooh, we can code in the classroom even without a bunch of technology. And that's what Elevate is about. It's about simple, classroom proven, research-based ideas that anyone can implement in their classrooms right away. And it's about taking things that we know of, but how can we think of those differently to make a bigger impact in the classroom?
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, you talked about it with a shower curtain and Post-it notes. Like, everybody has Post-it notes, and most classrooms have tile on the floor. So you've already got your grid, so you can just start doing it right away.
I mean, if it's nice outside, sidewalk chalk works lovely as well.
Right. And we all have sidewalk chalk. So I love it. So we have just a couple of minutes left with Kelli. So I want to give everybody another chance to enter tonight's giveaway. We're giving away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. If you want to enter tonight's giveaway, hit the share button and leave us some comments. So the more you share and the more you comment in the next couple of minutes, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. See, Maria says, I probably would have skipped the session had I not seen this live, right? So I'm glad that we're doing the live, and I'm glad that you have this session, because I think there is such a stigma.
Absolutely.
Right, about coding, and you've really broken that stigma down for so many of us tonight. So I think your session is going to be a game changer for teachers.
Yeah. And I really want people to know that coding is not just for the haves. It is for the haves and the will have, and some of the seemingly have-nots of technology. There are some really cool things that you can do with technology, but my focus is really about what's developmentally appropriate for our youngest learners. And there is a time and a place to incorporate technology, but guess what? You can work in technology and do all of the things that I just said, because that's all prep work for the other things. So just because you use the word technology, people envision a computer. And that's not all it is. And for what's developmentally appropriate for our youngest learners is these hands-on, easy to do, accessible ideas that anybody could turn around and do tomorrow that is going to be really impactful for the students.
And that right there is Elevate. Accessible, easy to do, impactful, that you can do tomorrow, that anyone can do. That's what Elevate is all about. So Kelli, I love that that's kind of where we're ending tonight, because that sums it up perfectly. Y'all, if you have not registered for Elevate Virtual, do it now. Click the links in the comments and in the description to get registered for Elevate Virtual, so you can see Kelli's entire session on how to bring coding into the classroom, plus 30 other sessions, 4 keynotes, $500 in free resources. That right there is worth the ticket price, right? $75 to register, and you get $500 in free resources for your classroom. Even if you don't watch a single session, you got your money's worth. Plus, we have $10,000 in giveaways. You're going to get a certificate of attendance, 90 days on-demand access, which means you can watch all of the sessions anytime between June 1st and August 31st in your bathrobe at 3 in the morning, by the pool, at the beach, in the car, whatever. So get registered. You do not want to miss out on Elevate Virtual. And lots of people were talking about Elevate in person. So head over to elevateyourclassroom.com and join us in Nashville, Dallas, and Phoenix. Kelli actually noticed this beautiful thing sitting behind me earlier. So if you are attending Elevate in person, look at that. This is this year's Trapper
We do
Keeper.
the thing where you send it through right here.
Right.
Like, maybe it's on the way. I think it's on the way.
Maybe, right? But so if you attend Elevate in person, this is what one of your swag items. So, but click the links, get registered for Elevate Virtual to take part in Kelli's session. We are so excited, Kelli. You have really changed my entire view of coding in the classroom just from this live. So I can't wait for the session. Lots of people are loving it. People are excited to learn more about coding. So this is awesome. All right, everybody. Jose is going to pick us a winner, and we're going to give somebody a free ticket to Elevate Virtual.
Yes.
All right, Jose. Oh, here he goes. Okay.
This is exciting.
Natasha Moulton. Congratulations, Natasha. You've won a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. Natasha, all you need to do is email crystal@elevateyourclassroom.com, and Crystal will hook you up with your ticket for Elevate Virtual. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Kelli, thank you so much for joining
you
and for rocking our world about coding.
My pleasure. It was all my pleasure. I had a great time. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I will be back on live tonight at 9 o'clock Central Time with Hillary Statham, talking all about ways to make learning and teaching all of the standards fun. So make sure to come back tonight at 9 o'clock to join me and Hillary as we talk about making learning fun. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Click the links, get registered for Elevate Virtual. We'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.